Yes, folks, it's that time again. It's time for another digital dump. As always, I am the 7th level. Tonight, we are looking at a permadeath roguelike for Steam. This game is called I Am Overburdened. This was a one-man development team out of Hungary, and it sells for $4.99 on Steam. Now, personally, I feel like this game would have been a better fit as a little downloadable title for the Switch or even the Vita or mobile phones. Well, there may be a mobile version for phones already, I don't know. Because while it's fun from a nostalgic point of view, there's probably not enough meat on the bone to even at $4.99 for it to be a console release per se. I mean, really, only the real die-hard fans of classic roguelike gameplay are going to get into this because of the fact that it's permadeath. It's not like playing Dark Souls, where as long as you've made it to a camp and you die, you can get your stuff back and you keep your stats and what have you. If you eat it in this game, you literally start all the way over. You don't get to keep nothing. Now, of course, it's kind of hard to talk about complexity with a retro-style roguelike, considering the fact that its namesake, Rogue, was all done in ASCII graphics, okay? But if anything, what this game really reminds me of is the Famicom version of a really popular arcade-based roguelike in Japan that was called Tower of Druaga. There's also an anime of it. But there was a port of that game on the Famicom, and that's what this reminds me of. It's got that typical gameplay style for that era in roguelikes, where to attack, you basically just run up and run into a character. There is no attack button, there is no dodge button or anything like that. Literally, all the controls are just up, down, left, and right. That's it. The graphics, for the most part, are 8-bit in nature. It reminds me of a little bit of Hide Light on the NES, mixed with some Tower of Druaga for the Famicom, mixed with a little Fatal Labyrinth on the Sega Genesis. And of course, it's all one screen, it's not scrolling. The levels are procedurally generated each time you play. Now, it does have a set 10 areas with about 3 levels each, and then you get a boss. So you're talking a total of 31 arenas to fight in. You've also got shops that you can go through to buy stuff with the gold that you find and whatnot. Really, the thing that sets the game aside or apart from other games of this ilk would be the kind of ridiculously large item storage that you have. If you look over on the right hand side of the screen, you can basically have 20 active items at any given time that give you various stats and boosts and what have you. This unusual addition can actually make you more daring than you otherwise would be in a roguelike, because instead of having the ability to only have perhaps 4 active items helping you, you've got 20. So the idea of an additional perk that can make you even stronger or last longer or what have you, it becomes more appealing for you to go through an extra 5 or 6 enemies to get to it, as opposed to just heading towards the exit. The gameplay is absolutely fine for it being a retro-style roguelike. Didn't run into any problems, didn't run into any glitching, didn't run into any slowdown, obviously. It works exactly as it should and does exactly what it sets out to do gameplay-wise. And it can be fun in short bursts. It makes for a good portable roguelike on the go. That's why I feel like it would be better suited for something like the Vita or the Switch than a Steam game. There's not really a whole lot of story to speak of, so I can't even really gauge or rate that. The music, however, is terrible. I'm sorry, I know this was a passion project, and I know it was a one developer team, but I would say brush up on your music skills. You know, maybe take some music classes before you tackle another project, or at least have someone else come in to do the music for you, because it's just not there, man. It just sounds like a bunch of beeps and boops. I mean, it's almost to the point of Atari 2600 bad. I mean, it's not quite at that level. It's more maybe 1985 era Tandy 1000EX music, but it's still not even approaching some of the music that you would hear on a comparable 8-bit Nintendo title. It's just more annoying than it is anything else. And some of the sound effects are that way too. Several of the early levels that you're in underground caves or in sewers that have water on the ground. So it's like every little move you make makes this really loud squishing noise. It's just annoying. And most of the sound effects in the game are kind of annoying like that. It's just, for everything that was done right as far as the action of the gameplay and even the graphics, which are not unappealing, you know, they're from a retro point of view, they're nice to look at. The music is its definite weak spot. That's this game's Achilles heel more than anything else, is that damn music. It's really, really bad. This is one that you will want to play with the speakers turned off. In the end, I Am Overburdened has a lot to offer for fans of the roguelike genre, and the permadeath, more arcadey aspect to it makes it a little bit unique, especially with the 20 item slots of it. This being a one-man project, I feel it deserves some appreciation, but at the same time, I can't get over that music, and I can't overlook the lack of a compelling narrative. So unfortunately this time around, I've got to be a little bit mean. It's certainly worth $5. It's fun in short bursts, but that music and no story to build off of, I'm sorry. I Am Overburdened gets 4.5 out of 7.